Here we are for race 2 then in the SBR Sim Racing British Touring Car Championship Season 2, and it's race 2 at Blue Moon Bay in field A. And as from the first race, this is the finishing order of the first race, sets the grid for this second race. It's Nathan on pole from Ben, then it's Sean, Liam, Jeff from Lewis, Greg, Adam, Evil, Andrew, Ashley, John, and at the back I believe it is Brian. So get ready for the start, and as you can see all the different manufacturers in linelet, so we're having a good mix of finishes and teams. So revs are up, we're ready for a start, and Nathan gets a fairly good start this time. It wasn't great in the last race, but a good one this time, and it looks like he's going to hold on to the lead. Ben up holding around the outside, looks like Sean's attacking on the inside, and all line astern going into the first corner, but no, Nathan leads from Ben. Sean's side by side with the other Scotsman, Liam, and they're all through. 13 in this race. We lost Andre due to his own ego, and through the fast section in this first sector, sideways again from Lewis, and he's off this time, and he's in the wall. That's his least favourite corner on the track. He had a few issues there in the first race, and it looks like he's going to drop down to last behind John. John squeezing through in the second Audi, but pink's obviously not a lucky colour tonight, and 3 wide here is Ben, Sean and Liam. Ben holds him off, and Nathan's already galloping away up front, which we would expect. Not being hindered by any cars this time, he can just show his true pace, and if he doesn't win this, then I'm a Chinaman. But away they go into last corner. Lewis already picks up a place at the expense of John. John's clobbering the wall. Andrew's been shot out the side somewhere and is way down, and watching Ben down the front straight as we complete lap 1 with Sean just in his slipstream, and Liam as well, just dropping Jeff at the moment, but Jeff was strong in race 1. And then we've got Greg and Adam fighting for again like they were in the first race. This time Adam up the inside and into 6th. The 2 pretty and pink cars running along quite well, and there's Andrew with a ton of understeer. But Nathan leads Ben, Liam, Sean, Jeff, Adam, Greg, Brian, looks like Ash, then the rest John, and then Andrew bring up the rear through into the hairpin. Sean looking a bit racy on the back of Liam, Adam looking very racy on the back of Jeff, and in fact takes the place. And Jeff just holding the inside line to try and stop Adam, but Adam does a nice little switch back, bit of contact, kind of needless, but 2 cars on different lines I guess. And Greg there taking advantage, you don't even have to ask him twice to a party, do you? He just takes that invitation, he's down the inside, and he'll try and use the slipstream from Adam's car to pull past Jeff as well, but now Jeff's getting the slipstream, and that should be enough for him to hold on to 6th place. But aggressive start here from Greg and Adam, and the other Vauxhall's on the move as well at the expense of Brian. He should move into 8th place down the inside into turn 1. It looks like he's got that done over that tricky bump as they enter the corner. It does throw the car a little bit sideways, and speaking of sideways, it looks like Evil's into the side of Brian, and that's going to help his teammate move up 2 places by the looks of it, and it does. And a bit of a pointless sweep across the track there from Lewis, that could have ended in tears, especially with his teammate there. And the 2 pretty and pink cars running through the field quite nicely. John getting caught all the time by Andrew there, but there's Nathan still leading, and he's not actually getting away as fast as we thought, but still with a comfortable cushion. Everybody's battling for 5th. Adam, Jeff and the rest all coming through with Greg and Ash just behind that. So Vauxhall's looking pretty strong in this race, but it's Adam the lead Vauxhall at the moment, quite happy in 5th. Jeff seems to be closing quite quickly now. He's found his feet after a wild opening, and he's in 6th place, just starting to claw back at Adam. And there's Ash doing a great job in 7th, but he's going to come under pressure now from the 2 pink Fords as well. The Gardex cars, they're flying down the back straight front straight, sorry, with Greg seems to have lost a lot of positions actually this lap, so obviously been moved out wide somewhere, and the battle for last continues, and it looks like Andrew should be able to take John anytime soon. Not sure what happened to Andrew, we didn't really get to see it, but something has occurred. And what's occurring at the front is that Nathan's still not quite getting away like we'd expect, and Liam's coming under increasing pressure from Sean, the two Scotsmen, in close proximity. Adam just about still keeping that gap to Jeff. 3 wide in the hairpin, that's a new one. Let's try that, let's see how that ends. And it doesn't end well for Lewis. He sort of goes on the grass but still manages to get enough traction to keep the position. His teammate is doing like a pretty good rear gunner action, but not good enough, because now Greg's through into this very horrible corner that brings you onto the front straight, and that's evil into the wall, and he'll lose out to Brian. Brian having a slightly better race in this one, definitely keeping the pace a little bit better. And up front I saw a move being made, and there's John at the back, but it isn't Nathan that's losing position. It's still a nice little cushion, and now there's the side-by-side action. It's Liam and Sean's now really flashing his lights to try and get through. You can see the two lead guys getting away, and he's even pushing Liam through the corner to try and hurry him up. Liam comes on strong near the end of the race, as we've seen, but the minute is not looking good, and he's on the grass now, and surely that's enough. Sean switches to the outside though, and unless he can get a cutback or drive around the outside, which is highly unlikely, and he can't, so let's see if we can switch back and try and get the inside line for the next double right-hander. And it looks like he's done it, and he has. He's through. Liam tries to switch back again, not quite. Sean's got a little bit more pace at this stage of the race, and through this horrible corner, and the two now Vauxhalls running together. So Ash has made his way through that group, doing a blinding job in this race. That's more contact, evil in the wall, into Brian, into his teammate, into sideways action, but lives to fight another day. And well, Liam has not given up on Sean, and he's down the inside again into turn 1, so this looks like it's going to run the course of the race. A bit squirrely from Liam, but he holds it. Sean will try and do the switch back, but can't. Liam's covered it. Great bit of defensive action. We're on board with Liam looking back at Sean in the Chevy. Team Chevy car. And through there, Sean taking a lot of the curb, and Liam taking a lot of the exit curb, and too much, and that's Sean surely through now into the hairpin. He'll try and dive down the inside, and he's got it done. Sean retakes the 3rd position. He'll try and make a little bit of a break now before the straight. Liam trying around the outside, but that's a vain hope really, unless he can get a cut back. Let's see. Doesn't look quite like he's going to do it. Meanwhile, the mayhem that is 5th down to about 9th place is still going on, and Ash into the side of Greg moves him out wide and takes the position. A little bit naughty, and Greg's not the sort of driver that complains very often, unlike some you could name. Hi Andrew. Andrew's around the outside and contact with John. John not really giving him the space, and in fact waits for him. He'll probably take his penalty while he's there, and Andrew up into 12th, and we'll try and get away from John. But still the battle rages for 3rd. It's still not done, and Liam's back in front again, but Sean's got the switch back and retakes it. Really isn't a lot between these guys, and Liam seems to be coming on strong again now, just as Sean's making his moves. So Sean's back through, but Liam will have the inside by looks of it again for the hairpin. Just can't leave each other alone. Liam with a Scottish flag on his roof, Sean with a Scottish flag on his mirrors. Proud Scotsman. It's Liam that retakes his 3rd place, and it's Adam and Ash doing a great job in the Vauxhalls, but Greg's getting more and more frustrated with this. Let's see if we can get past Ashley. Ashley having a fine race. First race wasn't anything to write home about. This one's much better, a bit more of what we expect. So you're not going to finish last in this one, Ash. Meanwhile, these guys might as well have a tow rip attached to the front and back of their cars. They're still fighting, and who's in 3rd now is anyone's guess, but it looks like it's going to be Liam, and Sean tries to sweep around the outside, but that's not going to work. He might be able to get a switch back into the next corner. But no. Meanwhile, Nathan's still pulling away up front now. He's really stretched the gap. Ash, Greg, Jeff and Evil, they're all fighting for 6th place at the moment, with Adam just off the front of this. I'm probably glad he is. because this is getting more and more intense. Jeff trying to go around the outside of Evil. No, that's not his real name. His parents aren't that harsh. Jeff, though, the truck driver from America, will not take it lying down, and John tries out the four-wheel drive on the Audi, and it does seem to work, so job done. And meanwhile, in a race not too distant from here, Nathan's gone. Ben in second place, but looks like he's lost a little bit of time. Liam's really shot away from Sean as well, so something's happened in the middle of that lap, and I'm hearing that Ben made a big mistake coming out of the hairpin, so lost a lot of time there, and he's blaming his wife for that again. His poor wife gets blamed for a lot of things, and well, who's to blame for that? Ashley and Jeff don't seem to have managed to be able to get down the straight without contacting each other, so something's going on there. Both managed to stay going in the straight line, so we'll let them off. And in fact, Ash still manages to have enough momentum to try and attack Greg, but that's not going to happen. Greg holding the inside line. Jeff will sweep round the outside. That's brave, and sweeps through the middle of the pair of them. Brilliant move from Jeff. Round the outside of Ash, and then down the inside of Greg. Takes two positions. Ash and Greg get a little bit more physical after earlier contact, but Adam's the one that's probably laughing, looking in his rearview mirror right now, but it's always a different car behind him. And at the minute, it's Lewis. Ben second, Liam third, Sean fourth still. Nothing's changing there. If it does, we'll get back to it. This is the main battle on the track, and it's war. All these manufacturers, and Greg replays the favour that Ash had done to him earlier. Just says, I remember that one. Take some of that yourself. And forcefully, let's say, takes 8th place. Ash is like, alright, if you want it that much, have it. And John's still on penalties, and somehow Andrew's still last. I'm not really sure how. In the pits for Sean, that's ballsy. Sean's like, well, I'm not really gaining anything in this race, I might as well pit and try and gain it through that. It's a clever move. If Ben and Liam start battling, you might be able to gain the time very quickly, but we're getting late in the race here. It's a bit late in the day to try that, because Ash comes in with his John Cleland replica on. He's thought the same, so a couple guys thinking it's time for tyres, and it's possibly the best way to go, and only the end of the race will show if they're right. Through comes Andrew, though. It's a bit of a lonely racing out the back. Right, so this battle's split up a little bit now, and Adam does seem to have got away from it. A battle that looks like it's going to brew, though. Looks like it's going to be for second between Ben, and Liam. And here it is, Ben into the wall. That's going to help Liam. Ben will lose momentum, and Liam will get the slipstream, and he's getting ever closer. The Laser Tools team, the Mercedes car, is running the BTCC, catching the Audi, which won the championship, and Ben's done exactly the same as well. So the number one, exactly as it was in period actually as well. So that's quite interesting. But Ben now won't be interested in that. It'll be interested in trying to hang on to his second place that Liam looks ever more likely to try and take. Jeff, though, still battling away with Lewis. Lewis with horrific tyre wear, and some of the pad users have been experiencing more tyre wear, and the word is that the rules will change a little bit for the next event. It can't change the event rules mid-race, and John comes in from pretty much last. New tyres, and that is a good looking car. The other one, meanwhile, is trying to fight off Liam, who's ever closing. And it looks like the last 4 laps are going to be tough for Ben to hold on against that Mercedes. It just seems to be moving up quickly to him. So Liam there with the Laser Tool racing car will have a new teammate for the next round due to a few problems with people turning up. And there's quite a lot of demand for the series, so it's always worth asking him if you can be a reserve. But 4 reserves at the moment should be able to get some drivers in for next week and try and get that full grid that we should have anyway, with people signing up and committing to a series. But it's always difficult to get a full grid somehow. But Liam's not worried about it. He's got the inside line. He seems to have more grip at this stage in the race, and he's through up the inside of Ben. Ben should just about give him the room, and does, and gives him more than enough room by going on the grass. Through into the middle sector then, and Liam takes second place. So Liam having a much more impressive race than the first race, where he wasn't really quite on the pace of the leaders, but he's definitely got it together for this one. up into second place. Meanwhile, back in the field, Adam's still got that little gap that he seems to have had all race ahead of Jeff, Lewis and Greg within the background there. Brian, again, quite impressive from Brian this race as well. He's doing a much better job. Andrew's weekend seems to have gone from bad to worse. Meanwhile, Nathan across the line to start lap 13, 3 laps to go. And Liam's pulled a big gap on Ben already in 1 lap, so Ben's struggling again in the latter stage of the races. That'll be music to Sean's ears with the new tyres. He should be able to close some of that gap down. But his lap times aren't that impressive. He's only about a second quicker. I don't think that's going to be enough to close them down, but you never know. And Lewis still fighting off Greg. And Jeff having another impressive race in 6th place. Really has come on to some sort of form lately. And this is equally just as impressive from Brian in 9th. He's doing a great job ahead of the guys that you would think are faster, but and Ash's races seems to have petered out. He's down in about 11th now, but obviously we know he had that pit stop, so still has time to catch up, especially if we can find the pace. Quick glimpse of Nathan as he's gone. Liam second though, and Ben has closed back in this lap, so not all done and dusted quite yet. So maybe Ben's tyre's getting a second wind, maybe, I don't know, but for some reason he's decided he doesn't want the slipstream and now has got it. Maybe he's expecting Liam to dive to the inside, but it's not quite close enough, and the slipstream's bringing Ben ever closer. He'll look to go down the inside. He's thinking about it. A late dive, but not quite close enough. It's more likely just to scare Liam, but to do much more than that to try and scare Liam, I would have said. Greg now with Lewis right behind. Lewis should be able to take this easy with the slipstream. Slipstream's not overpowering, it's just these cars are obviously the same, so a bit of slipstream and it's just about enough to get you alongside, and the rest you got to do yourself. And Lewis takes the position. Greg tries to do his switchback that he's used before, but that's not on and he knows it, so backs out of it. Clever bit of driving. But Ben now really on the back of Liam again. He seemed to have a lap just to cool down, and then he's just come back at Liam. Liam's struggling, and it's really tight stuff by the looks of it. Ben, meanwhile, well, to be fair, Ben's got a massive amount of understeer as well, so come through to start the last lap. I think Nathan's already about to start it now. As you can see on the ticker there, he comes across the line to start his last lap. These guys just exit in the last corner. That's such as Nathan's lead is about 8 seconds. And can Ben find a way past Liam? Liam's probably one of the tougher guys to overtake in the league, along with Lewis. But anyone's valuable, and Liam's sideways. He's just hanging on to the back end of the car. Ben noticed it, but there's nothing he can do about it. He's not quite close enough. And there wasn't really a gap anyway, so Liam's hanging on there, using all the curb. Now has he got a chance down the inside? No, Liam covers that as well through this quick right-hander, which he can set up moves down the inside into the hairpin. Ben's flashes lights trying to put Liam off, but all Liam's really got to do is drive down the inside of the track. He does. Ben switches to the outside to try and get a run. Can't do it. Liam's in the way. Tries again down the inside there. Can't do it. Nope. I think he's probably going to have to set for third now, unless he can get out of here a lot quicker. Doesn't look like it. And then he just got the run through the last corner, unless Liam makes a massive mistake through there. But he's been good through there all weekend, and he is. So it is going to be Nathan. It looks like it's going to be Liam second, but Nathan takes a dominant win, and he's looking really good in this championship. Second will be Liam as Ben slipstreams into the line, but it's not going to be enough. Liam takes second and he knows it. Third for Ben. Fourth for Sean. The tyre gamble didn't work, but he didn't lose anything. He was fourth anyway. Fifth is going to be either Adam or Jeff. Jeff's gone for the outside run. Adam looks like he's got it, but Jeff's coming back at him. Who's it going to be on the line? Jeff takes fifth. Stunning effort from Jeff. Sixth for Adam. Seventh looked like it was Lewis. Eighth, Greg. Ninth again for Evil, so he seems to like that. If he gets another ninth, it would be 999. He'll be calling the emergency services. 10th for looks like, can't even see who was 10th there. It looked like it was Brian, so Brian with good points. 11th for Andrew, 12th for Ashley. The pit stop's probably not his best idea, and 12th was Ash, sorry, 11th for Andrew, 13th for John. Join us for the last reverse grid race when we'll see John on pole.